When you step into the gym, you're not just walking into a room full of weights, mirrors, and machines. You're stepping into a battlefield where the war is between who you are and who you are capable of becoming. Every set, every rep, every drop of sweat is a declaration that you refuse to remain the same. The grind is not about the easy path. It is about the severe path, the one that demands everything from you and gives back only when you've proven you're worthy of it. What if I told you that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary isn't talent, luck, or opportunity? It's the severe grind, the relentless choice to push when your body screams stop. Discipline to stay when your mind whispers quit. And the fire to keep going when no one is watching. That grind is where champions are made. When you decide to embrace the grind daily, you are making a commitment far beyond lifting weights or running miles. You are deciding to discipline your body and your mind in a way that reshapes your entire being. The grind is not glamorous. It is not always exciting, and it rarely feels easy. But it is where growth happens. Every single day you choose to show up, whether your energy is high or low, whether your motivation is strong or weak, you are training yourself to be consistent. That consistency is the foundation upon which true strength is built. The grind strips away illusions. On the days you feel tired, when your body is heavy and your mind wants to quit, you learn the truth about yourself. Do you give in, or do you rise to the challenge? That daily battle, small as it may seem, is where you begin to unlock power that most people never tap into. The severe grind is not about perfection. It is about persistence, about refusing to allow excuses to dictate your path. Every time you show up despite the obstacles, you strengthen not just your muscles but your will. That willpower becomes a shield that protects you from weakness in all areas of life. When others quit because the path feels too hard, you keep going, and that persistence sets you apart. The grind is not a short journey. It is a lifestyle, a constant test of patience, endurance, and inner discipline. Severe grind teaches you that motivation is temporary, but habits are eternal. You might wake up some days with no energy, but your body will remember the pattern of discipline you've built. You no longer depend on feelings to carry you through. Instead, you depend on the strength of your routine. This is how daily grind transforms you. It becomes second nature, a part of who you are. In the gym, the grind takes the form of repetition. It's not the one heavy lift that changes you, but the hundreds and thousands of controlled, consistent reps performed over time. Each one seems small, but they add up to transformation. This principle extends beyond fitness. The grind in life works the same way. Small, repeated efforts shape the strongest individuals. The severe grind also sharpens focus. When you repeat the same discipline daily, your mind learns to shut out distractions. You no longer look for quick results or easy shortcuts, because you understand the process itself is the reward. Focus grows stronger with each day you show up, and that focus spills into every area of your life, from your health to your work to your relationships. The grind humbles you. No matter how strong you become, the weight will always challenge you, and the discipline will always demand more. This humility is not weakness. It is strength, because it reminds you that growth never ends. Even champions must grind, even the strongest must push, and that constant pursuit keeps you sharp and hungry. Through the grind, you also discover that pain has a purpose. The soreness after a session, the fatigue during a workout, the moments when you want to give up, they all serve as proof that you are moving forward. Pain becomes your teacher, showing you where growth is happening, reminding you that progress is never painless. Those who embrace this lesson gain an edge because they no longer fear the struggle. Daily grind creates a rhythm in life. Each day becomes another brick in the structure of your strength. You stop looking for overnight success and instead build patiently, knowing that every rep, every meal, every disciplined decision compounds into something far greater over time. This rhythm makes you unshakable, because you know that progress is guaranteed if you refuse to stop. Finally, embracing the grind every day turns you into a different person entirely. The weak version of you, the one who relied on comfort and excuses, begins to fade. A stronger, more disciplined version emerges, forged by consistency and hardened by struggle. The grind doesn't just change your body, it reshapes your character, carving strength, resilience, and determination into your very core. Pain is often misunderstood in the world of training. Many see it as something to fear or avoid, but those who commit to the severe grind understand that pain is not an enemy, it is a guide. When you push your body beyond its comfort zone, when your muscles begin to burn and your breath becomes heavy, that discomfort is the signal that change is taking place. Without it, growth cannot happen. The pain you feel during a workout is proof that your body is adapting, stretching, and preparing to become stronger than it was yesterday. Every athlete, every bodybuilder, every disciplined individual who has built true strength has walked through the same fire of discomfort. They did not shy away from the pain. They embraced it because they knew it carried a message. It was telling them that they had reached the threshold between who they were and who they were becoming. To run from that sensation is to run from progress, but to lean into it is to unlock transformation. Pain also builds patience. You cannot rush through a hard set, and you cannot fast forward the soreness of recovery. The grind forces you to slow down, to respect the process, and to understand that all great achievements are born from struggle. Pain teaches you endurance, reminding you that strength is not built in moments of ease, but in those long, hard minutes when everything in you screams to stop, yet you keep moving forward. The severe grind reframes pain from something negative into something deeply meaningful. Instead of viewing it as suffering, you begin to see it as a teacher. It tells you that your limits are being tested, that your body is being pushed past the boundaries of its old self. In this way, pain becomes the doorway to the next level of your potential, a necessary toll you pay on the road to greatness. When you push through pain, you also build mental resilience. Your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort, whispering excuses and urging you to quit. But every time you ignore that voice and press on, you train your mind to endure. This is not just useful in the gym, it prepares you for life itself, where challenges and hardships require the same resilience. Pain in training is practice for pain in reality. And if you can master it here, you can master it anywhere. Pain also develops gratitude. After a hard workout, when your muscles ache and your body feels heavy, you begin to appreciate the blessing of strength and the gift of health. What was once a burden becomes a source of pride. You no longer dread the soreness. Instead, you wear it like a badge of honor, proof that you were willing to go further than comfort would allow. That gratitude keeps you humble, reminding you that progress comes only through effort. In the severe grind, pain becomes a compass. It shows you where weakness still exists and where improvement is possible. The body speaks through discomfort, highlighting areas that need attention, telling you where the work must be done. Instead of resisting it, you learn to listen, to adjust, and to keep pressing forward. Pain then becomes not a barrier but a tool for growth. The beauty of embracing pain is that it makes victories sweeter. The personal records, the new milestones, the visible transformation of your body, they mean nothing without the struggle that built them. Pain is the price you pay for strength, and when you finally see the results, you know they were earned honestly, with sweat and discipline. That knowledge gives you confidence that cannot be shaken. Pain is also a reminder that you are alive, that you are pushing your body to its full capacity. While others live within the boundaries of comfort, never testing themselves, you are choosing the harder path. You are choosing to feel deeply, to struggle honestly, and to grow continually. Pain separates those who dabble from those who are truly committed. Through pain, you learn that progress is not just physical but spiritual. It humbles the ego, disciplines the body, and strengthens the mind. It strips away illusions of quick success and forces you to embrace patience, resilience, and consistency. In the end, pain is not a punishment. It is the forge that shapes strength, endurance, and character, proving that nothing worthwhile is ever achieved without sacrifice. Discipline is the cornerstone of the severe grind, the force that keeps you moving when your feelings try to pull you away. Feelings are inconsistent. They rise and fall with your mood, your energy levels, and the circumstances of your day. But discipline is steady, unshaken by the storms of emotion. When you commit to discipline, you are no longer controlled by whether you feel like it. You show up because you decided long before that moment that your goals mattered more than your comfort. In the gym, this difference becomes crystal clear. There are days when you wake up tired, when your body feels heavy, and when motivation seems far away. If you rely on feelings, you will skip the workout. But if you rely on discipline, you will lace up your shoes and walk into that gym regardless of how you feel. Discipline whispers, "Do it anyway." And that quiet voice is far more powerful than any fleeting emotion. Discipline also gives structure to your journey. Feelings push you in many directions, but discipline creates order. It tells you when to wake up, what to eat, how to train, and when to rest. It takes away the chaos of indecision and replaces it with a plan that leads to results. This structure is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. You cannot drift into strength. You must discipline yourself into it. The severe grind thrives on consistency, and consistency cannot exist without discipline. It is easy to go hard for 1 week when emotions are high, but what happens when excitement fades? That is when discipline steps in. Discipline carries you through the days when enthusiasm has disappeared. It carries you through long stretches where progress seems invisible. It reminds you that showing up is not about being excited, it is about being committed. When you live by discipline, you begin to understand sacrifice. You sacrifice temporary pleasures to achieve lasting rewards. You may sacrifice extra sleep, unhealthy food, or moments of ease, but in return you gain strength, health, and mastery over your own will. Feelings ask you to chase what is easy now. Discipline tells you to choose what will matter later. This constant trade builds character and forges resilience. Discipline also teaches respect. You begin to respect the time you invest, the effort you put in, and the progress you earn. You respect the process because you know it cannot be rushed or manipulated by feelings. This respect extends beyond the gym into how you manage your responsibilities, how you treat others, and how you hold yourself accountable. Discipline builds integrity because it demands that your actions align with your commitments. Every rep, every set, every disciplined decision is a small victory over the voice of comfort. Over time, these victories accumulate into transformation. The severe grind is not about doing one extraordinary thing. It is about doing ordinary things with extraordinary consistency. Discipline makes this possible, turning small daily efforts into massive long-term results. Without it, the grind falls apart, but with it, the grind becomes unstoppable. Discipline also strengthens the mind. Feelings often cloud judgment, leading to impulsive choices, but discipline clears the fog. It sharpens your focus, allowing you to see the bigger picture beyond the temporary struggles of the moment. In the gym, that means pushing through fatigue. In life, it means staying on course when distractions appear. The disciplined mind does not waver. It remains fixed on the vision it is chasing. One of the greatest truths about discipline is that it eventually creates freedom. At first, it feels restrictive, like rules weighing you down. But as you grow, you realize that discipline frees you from regret, from weakness, from the trap of inconsistency. It frees you from being a slave to emotions. By mastering discipline, you unlock control over your body, your time, and your results. That freedom is the reward of the severe grind. Discipline over feelings is what transforms effort into achievement. Feelings change by the hour, but discipline stands firm like an unshakable foundation. When you commit to it, you are no longer tossed around by moods or excuses. You become someone who acts with intention, who follows through, and who builds strength that cannot be shaken. Discipline is not just a habit in the severe grind. It is the very heartbeat that keeps it alive. In the severe grind, progress is rarely a straight line, and that is where mental toughness becomes the greatest weapon. The body may feel fatigue, the muscles may ache, but it is the mind that decides whether you continue or give up. Mental toughness is the ability to face those moments when every part of you wants to stop, and still find the strength to push forward. It is the ability to endure not only the physical discomfort, but also the doubts, the fears, and the inner voice that whispers, "This is too much." When you strengthen your mind, the body follows. Every challenge in the gym becomes a test of your mental resilience. When the weights feel heavy, when sweat stings your eyes, when you are gasping for air, your mind has to make a choice. Do you back down or do you push through? Those who rely only on physical strength will crumble. But those who cultivate mental toughness will discover that they can go beyond what they thought possible. The severe grind is a constant reminder that the true battle is not against the barbell or the treadmill, but against your own limits. Mental toughness is built, not gifted. It grows every time you refuse to quit when things get hard. It grows when you push through soreness, when you train even after a long day, when you choose discipline over excuses. These small victories in the mind accumulate, and before long, you realize that the challenges that once broke you no longer even shake you. The severe grind is not just about lifting weights. It is about lifting the standard of what your mind can handle. The moments of struggle are not accidents, they are opportunities. When the workout feels unbearable, when your arms shake and your legs feel like stone, you are standing on the edge of growth. Mental toughness is the decision to step over that edge and embrace the discomfort. Instead of seeing it as suffering, you see it as proof that you are breaking barriers. Every drop of sweat becomes evidence that you are not giving in. The severe grind demands that you treat obstacles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Mental toughness also means controlling your emotions under pressure. In the gym, there will be frustration when you fail a lift or when progress feels slow. Without mental strength, that frustration becomes defeat, but with it, frustration becomes fuel. You channel the anger into effort. You turn the disappointment into drive, and you let setbacks sharpen your resolve. Emotional control under strain is what separates those who plateau from those who keep climbing. Beyond the gym, mental toughness carries into every part of life. The same resilience that helps you finish the final rep also helps you push through the trials outside the gym. It helps you stand tall when challenges come. It teaches you patience when results take time. And it builds the habit of perseverance in everything you face. The severe grind is not just shaping your muscles, it is shaping your mind into a fortress. There is a unique confidence that grows from mental toughness. When you know you can endure pain, when you know you can push through struggle, you carry yourself differently. You no longer fear challenges because you have proven to yourself that you can handle them. That self-belief becomes unshakable. The gym is simply the training ground for this. Every rep is proof. Every set is evidence. Every session is a deposit into your mental bank. Mental toughness is not about ignoring pain, it is about understanding it. You do not pretend that the grind is easy. Instead, you embrace the reality that growth comes with struggle. You train your mind to see pain as part of the process, not as a signal to stop. This perspective shift is powerful because it transforms suffering into progress. Where others see reasons to quit, you see reasons to keep going. To build mental toughness, you must constantly step out of comfort. Comfort weakens the mind, while discomfort strengthens it. That is why the severe grind thrives on pushing limits, on demanding more from yourself each time you step into the gym. The mind adapts to struggle just as the body adapts to resistance. The more you challenge it, the stronger it becomes. The less you challenge it, the weaker it gets. Every hard set is a chance to sharpen your mental edge. Mental toughness is ultimately the armor that protects your progress. It shields you from excuses, it shields you from setbacks, and it shields you from the temptation to quit. While motivation can fade and physical strength can tire, a tough mind stands unbroken. In the severe grind, where the path is long and full of challenges, this toughness is not optional, it is essential. Sacrifice is the hidden price that every great transformation demands. In the severe grind, you cannot expect to grow stronger without letting go of comfort, convenience, and short-term pleasure. The body does not build muscle overnight, and the mind does not develop discipline by chance. It is only through sacrifice that strength is purchased. You give up late nights to wake up early. You give up unhealthy foods for clean fuel. You give up idle hours for training sessions that push you beyond your limits. Every sacrifice you make in the present moment creates space for growth in the future, and that is the true exchange of progress. The severe grind is not about doing what is easy, but about doing what is necessary. Sacrifice demands that you say no when others say yes. While others indulge in distractions, you remain focused. While others avoid discomfort, you embrace it. Sacrifice is not punishment, it is refinement. It carves away the parts of you that hold you back and leaves only the parts that are strong enough to endure. Every time you sacrifice comfort, you are telling yourself that your goals matter more than temporary satisfaction. Sacrifice teaches patience because results in fitness do not come immediately. The severe grind is a long road filled with challenges, and shortcuts do not exist. You sacrifice instant gratification because you know that lasting strength takes time to build. You give up the desire for quick results and instead commit to steady, consistent progress. This willingness to wait, to endure, to invest day after day is what separates those who transform from those who remain stuck. The sacrifice of time and effort becomes the foundation of strength. Sacrifice also builds clarity. When you are willing to let go of what is unnecessary, your focus sharpens on what truly matters. The severe grind requires that you choose between what you want now and what you want most. When you sacrifice sleep for discipline, junk food for nourishment, laziness for training, you are making a decision about your priorities. That clarity gives you the energy to keep going, because you know you are aligned with your purpose. Sacrifice becomes the proof that your goals are not just wishes but commitments. There is power in knowing that sacrifice is not loss but investment. The comfort you give up today multiplies into strength tomorrow. The food you resist today fuels your health tomorrow. The hours you put into training instead of wasting them elsewhere create a body and mind that can carry you further than you imagine. The severe grind is about constantly planting seeds of sacrifice, knowing that every seed will eventually grow into a harvest of results. Sacrifice also sharpens your discipline. Discipline is built by the choices you make in the small, quiet moments when no one is watching, when there is no applause, when there is nothing to gain except the knowledge that you stayed true to your goal. Every time you choose sacrifice, you strengthen your discipline. The severe grind thrives on these disciplined sacrifices, because without them, the body remains stagnant and the spirit remains weak. Sacrifice is the training ground for discipline, and discipline is the engine of transformation. Sacrifice strips away excuses. It forces you to face the reality that growth always comes with a cost. In the gym, the cost may be sweat, time, and discomfort. Outside the gym, it may be sleep, social events, or habits that do not serve your purpose. The severe grind makes you confront these choices daily. Sacrifice is what silences the excuse that you do not have time, energy, or ability. When you sacrifice, you prove to yourself that progress is always possible if you are willing to pay the price. Sacrifice is also a test of how much you truly value your goal. Many people talk about wanting strength, health, or transformation, but few are willing to sacrifice for it. Words are easy, but actions reveal the truth. The severe grind is where you prove your seriousness. Every sacrifice you make is a declaration that your goal matters enough to endure struggle. Without sacrifice, desire remains empty talk. With sacrifice, desire becomes reality. Sacrifice transforms your identity. When you consistently give up what is easy for what is necessary, you begin to see yourself differently. You no longer view yourself as someone who seeks comfort, but as someone who chases growth. You no longer define yourself by excuses, but by effort. The severe grind forces you to confront your old self and shed it piece by piece, replacing it with a stronger, more disciplined version. Sacrifice is not just an action, it is a transformation of who you are becoming. The beauty of sacrifice is that it compounds over time. One day of sacrifice may feel small, but months of sacrifice create undeniable change. The severe grind is built on this compounding effect. Small sacrifices that, stacked together, create a future that looks completely different from your present. Sacrifice today becomes strength tomorrow, and the tomorrow after that, until one day you look in the mirror and see not just a body transformed, but a person who has mastered the art of discipline, patience, and resilience. Consistency is the backbone of the severe grind. Without it, all effort collapses and progress turns into frustration. One day of hard work means nothing if it is followed by weeks of neglect. Muscles are not built in moments of occasional effort, but in the rhythm of daily commitment. The body adapts through repetition, through showing up again and again, until strength becomes second nature. Consistency is what transforms scattered effort into lasting transformation. And without it, the grind becomes empty. The severe grind demands that you keep showing up, no matter the mood, no matter the weather, no matter the circumstances. Consistency is not about working hard once in a while. It is about working hard every single time. It does not matter if the session feels powerful or weak, if the numbers are high or low. What matters is that you keep pressing forward. This unbroken chain of effort builds momentum, and momentum is the secret force behind greatness. Consistency is what separates those who wish from those who achieve. Many people start with energy, motivated by a burst of excitement, but only a few remain consistent when the excitement fades. The severe grind exposes this difference quickly. Anyone can work hard for a day, but it takes true discipline to keep working hard for weeks, months, and years. Those who embrace consistency understand that progress is a marathon, not a sprint, and that steady steps will always outlast random bursts of effort. Every act of consistency compounds over time. One workout may feel small, one healthy meal may feel insignificant, but stacked together over months, these small acts create monumental change. The severe grind is built on this compounding effect, where each day of consistency lays another brick on the foundation of your strength. Missed days break momentum, but consistent days build unshakable power. The more consistent you are, the more unstoppable you become. Consistency also builds trust in yourself. Every time you show up, you are proving to yourself that you can be relied upon, that your word to yourself matters. Over time, this self-trust becomes confidence. You no longer doubt whether you will train, eat clean, or stay disciplined, because you have already built the habit of consistency. The severe grind demands this kind of trust, because without it, doubt and hesitation take control. When you are consistent, you silence doubt with action. The grind is not about perfection, but persistence. Consistency does not mean you will never stumble. It means you keep moving forward despite the stumbles. You may have slow days, you may feel weak, but consistency is about showing up anyway. The severe grind rewards persistence, not flawless execution. Those who remain consistent even through imperfection are the ones who rise, because their effort never stops flowing. Consistency also builds resilience against excuses. When training becomes a habit, excuses lose their power. You no longer debate whether you will train or not, because the decision has already been made through consistency. This is the discipline that the severe grind requires, a rhythm so steady that nothing can break it. Rain, fatigue, or lack of motivation may come, but the consistent athlete keeps moving because the habit is stronger than the excuse. Consistency creates visible results, and those results fuel further consistency. The severe grind may feel slow in the beginning, but over time, the steady work begins to show. Muscles grow, strength increases, endurance rises, and these changes confirm that consistency works. Progress may be invisible at first, but with enough repetition, it becomes undeniable. Consistency builds the proof that transformation is real, and that proof becomes the fire to keep going. Consistency teaches patience. In the severe grind, results do not come overnight, and impatience destroys progress. Consistency teaches you that time is your ally, not your enemy. Every day of effort is an investment, and though the returns may not be immediate, they are guaranteed if you remain consistent. This patience is what makes the difference between those who quit and those who break through. The grind rewards those who wait with steady effort. The severe grind thrives on consistency because it is the glue that holds everything together: discipline, sacrifice, pain, resilience. Without consistency, each of these is temporary. With consistency, they become permanent tools for growth. Every rep, every set, every drop of sweat becomes part of a chain that cannot be broken. Consistency is not just a strategy. It is a way of life, the heartbeat of the grind, the silent force that makes transformation possible. Mental strength is the invisible weight that must be lifted in the severe grind. The body can only endure what the mind allows, and without a strong mind, even the strongest muscles will crumble under pressure. The grind tests you not only with heavy weights, but with the thoughts that arise when fatigue sets in, when soreness lingers, when progress feels too slow. Mental strength is what pushes you to finish the last rep when your arms are shaking, to step back into the gym when you are tired, and to trust the process even when results seem far away. Mental strength begins with perspective. In the severe grind, challenges are not punishments but opportunities to grow. Where the weak see obstacles, the strong see chances to sharpen their resilience. A difficult workout, a long recovery, or a day when energy is low is not a reason to stop, but a chance to prove mental toughness. The mind, once trained to view difficulty as growth, becomes a powerful ally. Every challenge becomes fuel. Every struggle becomes a stepping stone. The severe grind requires that you master your inner voice. The mind will often whisper excuses, telling you to stop early, to skip today, to take it easy. Mental strength is built when you confront that voice and choose discipline over comfort. Each time you silence excuses, you strengthen your mental armor. Eventually, that voice of weakness grows quieter, replaced by a louder voice of determination. The mind becomes conditioned to endure, just like the body. Mental strength is also about patience with progress. In the grind, results are rarely instant, and many lose heart when they don't see immediate change. But those with strong minds understand that progress is hidden in the daily effort, revealed only with time. They don't need quick rewards to stay motivated because their mental strength gives them the vision to look ahead. They know that every rep is a deposit, and that one day the balance will overflow with results. Pain is one of the greatest tests of mental strength. In the severe grind, pain is inevitable, but how you respond determines everything. A weak mind interprets pain as a signal to stop, but a strong mind interprets it as proof of progress. The ability to push through discomfort, to separate true injury from temporary pain, is what allows you to keep moving forward. Mental strength reframes pain as purpose, and in doing so, transforms it into a tool instead of a barrier. Mental strength also demands focus. In a world full of distractions, the grind requires that you center your mind fully on the task at hand. A wandering mind cannot lift with intensity, cannot push with precision, cannot endure with consistency. Mental strength trains you to lock in, to block out everything else when you step into the gym. The weight in front of you becomes the only thing that matters, and in that focus, growth happens. Resilience is another mark of mental strength. The severe grind is filled with setbacks, missed lifts, slow recovery, days when your body resists progress. A weak mind sees setbacks as failure, but a strong mind sees them as part of the journey. Resilience allows you to return after a difficult day, to rise after every fall, to keep walking forward when the path feels endless. It is not about avoiding failure, but about refusing to stay down when failure comes. Mental strength builds self-control. In the grind, temptation is everywhere. The temptation to skip training, to eat what does not fuel you, to rest when you should be working. A strong mind governs these impulses, choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. This self-control becomes a form of freedom because you are no longer a slave to feelings or cravings. The severe grind reveals that true strength is not about lifting heavy weights, but about controlling your own will. This severe grind also teaches adaptability. Mental strength is not just about pushing harder, but about adjusting wisely. Some days require intensity, while others require recovery. Some setbacks demand perseverance, while others demand a change in strategy. A strong mind does not break under change, it adapts. This adaptability ensures that no obstacle becomes permanent, and that every challenge is met with a solution. Ultimately, mental strength is the foundation that allows every other part of the grind to stand. Without it, discipline fades, consistency breaks, and sacrifice feels unbearable. With it, every rep, every set, every day in the gym becomes part of an unshakable structure. The severe grind is not won by the body alone, but by the mind that commands it, by the mental steel that refuses to bend no matter how heavy the weight becomes. Patience is the unseen strength that holds everything together in the severe grind. In fitness, results never appear overnight, and expecting instant transformation leads only to disappointment. The body is designed to grow, adapt, and strengthen slowly through consistent effort, and patience is what allows a person to keep moving forward without losing faith in the process. Without patience, the grind becomes unbearable, but with patience, every rep and every drop of sweat feels like an investment in the future. Patience teaches you to accept the pace of growth. Muscles do not expand in a week, endurance is not built in a month, and discipline is not formed in a single attempt. Each step is a gradual climb, and patience allows you to respect that journey. The severe grind is not about rushing to the finish line, but about trusting that every day of effort, no matter how small, is building something greater than what you see in the mirror today. In the severe grind, patience also helps you avoid frustration. There will be times when the scale does not change, when the strength gains feel stuck, or when fatigue weighs heavier than motivation. Patience whispers that this is normal, that plateaus are part of growth, and that pushing forward consistently is what eventually breaks those barriers. Without patience, these moments can lead to giving up, but with it, they become temporary pauses on the way to greater progress. Patience strengthens discipline. When results are delayed, the temptation to abandon structure and chase shortcuts grows stronger. But patience holds you steady, reminding you that shortcuts rob you of true progress. Discipline is built by showing up even when progress feels invisible, and patience gives you the vision to keep showing up. Every time you train with patience, you fortify your character as much as your body. The severe grind demands patience with recovery as well. Growth does not happen during the workout, but during the time the body repairs itself. Impatience pushes you to overtrain, to ignore rest, to chase progress recklessly. But patience respects the natural rhythm of growth. It teaches you to balance intensity with recovery, knowing that strength is forged in cycles of effort and rest, not in endless exertion. Patience also develops humility. It reminds you that no matter how strong or disciplined you are, the body has limits that cannot be rushed. Humility accepts that mastery takes years of repetition, that strength is earned slowly, and that true greatness is built layer by layer. In the severe grind, humility and patience walk together, guiding you to stay grounded while striving for higher levels of fitness. Patience allows you to value small victories. In the absence of dramatic change, it helps you notice the subtle improvements, the extra rep you complete, the faster recovery after a set, the increased focus during training. These small signs of progress, invisible to the impatient, become powerful motivation for those who practice patience. They remind you that growth is happening even when it is not obvious. Patience guards against comparison. In the gym, it is easy to look at others and feel behind, but patience teaches you to focus on your own path. Your grind is yours alone, and your results are measured against your own past, not against someone else's present. Patience silences envy and replaces it with gratitude for where you are and confidence in where you are going. The severe grind is filled with tests of patience, not only in results but in daily discipline. Waking up early, preparing meals, following routines. These tasks can feel endless without the vision that patience provides. It reminds you that every routine repeated faithfully is laying bricks for a foundation of strength that will last far beyond the short-term discomfort. Patience transforms what feels repetitive into a meaningful part of progress. Patience is the quiet force that allows the severe grind to continue without breaking. It steadies the mind during challenges, calms frustration during plateaus, and fuels consistency when motivation fades. It teaches you that greatness is not in rushing but in enduring, not in quick results but in steady growth, and that every step forward, no matter how slow, is still movement toward your ultimate strength. Repetition is the silent architect of strength, the hidden force behind every transformation forged in the severe grind. At first, lifting the same weight or repeating the same movement feels ordinary, even dull, but over time those repeated actions create extraordinary results. Muscles respond to repeated tension by growing stronger, denser, and more defined. The body adapts not to one-time effort, but to the relentless demand placed upon it again and again. The severe grind is not about novelty. It is about discipline in the familiar, consistency in the repeated, and faith in the process that repetition never fails. Each time you repeat a set, you are engraving strength into your muscles and resilience into your spirit. The brain learns patterns through repetition, and the body executes them with greater efficiency and power each time. That is why the grind feels endless. It is meant to be endless. Repetition is not wasted. It is invested. Every rep becomes a deposit into your future strength account. And over weeks, months, and years, the interest compounds into a physique and mindset that others cannot comprehend. What seems repetitive to the untrained eye is mastery in motion to the disciplined athlete. A push-up done every day builds not just chest and arm strength, but endurance, stability, and control. Squats performed week after week do more than shape legs. They teach balance, patience, and humility before the weight. Repetition teaches that greatness is not in doing something once with power, but in doing it countless times with commitment. The severe grind sharpens you with each repeated motion until what was once difficult becomes second nature. The grind strips away illusions of shortcuts because repetition exposes truth. You cannot fake strength. Either you have earned it through countless reps or you do not. You cannot trick endurance. Either your lungs and muscles have been trained through repeated effort or they will fail. The severe grind demands honesty, and repetition is the mirror that reflects your reality. That is why repetition feels hard. It shows you exactly where you stand, and only through persistence can you move forward. Repetition also rewires the mind. At first, resistance training feels heavy, exhausting, and even discouraging. But the more you repeat the same action, the more your mind begins to normalize the effort. A barbell that once felt impossible to lift becomes manageable, then easy, and then too light. This progression is not magic. It is the reward of repetition. The severe grind shows you that limits are temporary, and through constant repetition, barriers become milestones left behind. Repetition is the teacher of patience. Results do not arrive overnight. They emerge slowly, often imperceptibly, until one day the reflection in the mirror shocks even you. The arms look fuller, the shoulders broader, the core tighter. But none of this came from a single workout. It came from thousands of reps performed with dedication. The severe grind teaches that patience is not passive. It is active faith in repetition, in showing up day after day and trusting the unseen progress. Every athlete who has ever achieved greatness knows the power of repetition. Champions are not crowned because they performed once with brilliance, but because they repeated the same movements, drills, and training for years. In the gym, the grind demands the same. The barbell does not care about yesterday's effort. It only responds to today's repetitions. That is the beauty of it. Fair, unrelenting, and consistent. Repetition does not discriminate. It rewards anyone willing to embrace it. The severe grind also reveals the mental toughness born from repetition. When you push through the 100th rep, when you keep going through the pain of monotony, your mind learns endurance. You are no longer driven by emotion or fleeting motivation, but by discipline rooted in repeated action. This mental strength becomes the anchor that holds firm not just in the gym, but in every storm life throws at you. Even the smallest repetitions add up. A single push-up seems meaningless, but 1,000 push-ups spread over weeks reshape the body and spirit. A set of squats today feels minor, but multiplied across months, it transforms legs into pillars of strength. Repetition magnifies effort, turning small daily actions into massive long-term results. The severe grind is the reminder that greatness is not hidden in rare moments of inspiration, but in the repeated actions done when no one else is watching. The hidden beauty of repetition in the severe grind is that it never ends. Once one level of mastery is reached, repetition takes you higher. The same squat that once built basic strength can evolve into a deeper squat, a heavier squat, a more controlled squat. Mastery is not final. It is a journey where repetition opens doors to new challenges, new progress, and new levels of strength. The severe grind proves that repetition is not a prison of monotony, but the pathway to infinite growth. Pain is not the enemy of progress. It is the voice of the grind whispering that growth is happening. When muscles burn, when lungs ache, when every fiber of your being feels stretched to the limit, that is the language of transformation. The severe grind teaches you to listen to that pain, not to run from it. Pain reveals where weakness exists, and only by facing it can you replace that weakness with strength. Without pain, there is no adaptation, no progress, no breakthrough. Pain becomes the compass, pointing you directly toward the areas that demand growth. In the gym, pain is proof that you are no longer in the comfort zone. Comfort never creates change. It only preserves what already exists. Pain signals that you have stepped beyond the line of what feels easy into the realm where real development takes place. The severe grind embraces this reality, knowing that the ache in your muscles is not destruction but construction. Each rep under tension, each moment of discomfort, is laying bricks of strength that will stand long after the pain has faded. Pain is also the teacher of humility. No matter how strong or skilled you become, the grind will always find a way to remind you that you are human, that there is always room to grow, that there is no such thing as arriving at the final level. A new exercise, a heavier weight, or a different routine will bring back the familiar burn. showing you that mastery is not a destination but a journey. The severe grind humbles those who think they have conquered it, and it sharpens those who understand that pain is the eternal teacher. The mental lessons from pain are as powerful as the physical ones. When you push through the burn of your muscles screaming to stop, your mind learns endurance. The ability to stay focused when everything inside you is demanding release is what creates mental resilience. That strength carries far beyond the gym. Life's trials feel less overwhelming because you have already trained your mind in the fire of pain. The severe grind does not just strengthen muscles. It builds a spirit that refuses to collapse under pressure. There is a difference between pain that signals injury and pain that signals growth. The severe grind sharpens your awareness of this difference. The deep soreness after a tough session, the trembling of muscles after high intensity, the fatigue that comes from giving everything. This is the pain that molds you. It should not be feared but respected. It is the body's way of saying, "You pushed me, I adapted, and now I will come back stronger." Pain, in this way, is the promise of tomorrow's strength written into today's struggle. Pain also demands discipline. It is easy to quit when the body begins to ache, but discipline holds you steady. The severe grind requires the ability to stay in the discomfort, to remain there longer than you thought possible, and to trust that the reward will be greater than the suffering. Each time you endure pain without surrendering, you harden your willpower. That discipline spills into every other part of life, teaching you to handle challenges not with fear, but with calm determination. Pain sharpens gratitude. When you've endured soreness and fatigue, you learn to appreciate recovery, rest, and strength in ways you never did before. Every moment without pain feels like a blessing because you've known what it means to struggle. The severe grind makes victories sweeter because they are won through adversity. Pain allows you to truly recognize the value of the health, strength, and energy you carry, because none of it came without cost. Pain builds patience. Progress is not measured in one workout or even 1 week. It comes through months and years of repeated battles with discomfort. The soreness that once felt unbearable eventually becomes familiar, even welcome, because you understand it as part of the process. The severe grind teaches that pain is not permanent, but the results it produces are. Patience grows as you endure, because you see firsthand that small struggles repeated often create lasting change. Through pain, you also learn respect for the process. The severe grind is not about shortcuts, hacks, or easy wins. It is about showing up day after day, rep after rep, no matter how difficult it feels. Pain reminds you that progress must be earned, not given. Respecting that process is what separates those who quit from those who thrive. Pain is not a punishment handed out by the grind. It is the seal of authenticity that proves the work was real. Most importantly, pain creates unshakable confidence. When you have endured the discomfort of training, when you have faced the severe grind and refused to break, you carry with you a sense of certainty that nothing can take away. Confidence does not come from empty words, it comes from scars earned in the fire of effort. Pain becomes the foundation of belief in yourself, because you know you can withstand it and keep moving. That knowledge changes the way you carry yourself in the gym and in life. The severe grind demands that you cut through the noise of the world, because progress does not come from scattered focus. Every day you are surrounded by distractions, phones buzzing with endless notifications, voices of doubt from people who do not understand your vision, and temptations pulling you away from discipline. If you let the noise guide you, you will never hear the clear voice inside that knows your true potential. The grind requires silence, not of the world outside, but of the chaos within. When you enter the gym, it is not about the crowd or the chatter. It is about isolating yourself with the weight, the work, and the willpower to keep going. Noise comes in many forms, but the most dangerous kind is internal. That voice that whispers, "Take it easy," or "skip today," is the most subtle distraction of all. The severe grind teaches you to recognize this inner noise and replace it with discipline. Every rep becomes a chance to silence excuses. Every set a chance to quiet self-doubt. The more you practice this, the stronger the discipline grows. You learn to control your thoughts, to choose the ones that serve you, and to mute the ones that drag you backward. Social noise is another barrier the severe grind forces you to push past. People will question why you sacrifice comfort, why you dedicate hours to the gym, why you refuse to settle for average. Some will laugh, some will criticize, and some will try to pull you back into mediocrity. If you give them your ear, you give them your focus. The grind demands that you rise above their voices, understanding that their opinions cannot lift the weight for you, cannot run the miles for you, cannot live the discipline for you. Their noise has no power unless you hand it to them. The noise of comparison is one of the hardest to silence. Looking around the gym, you may see someone stronger, faster, or further along in their journey. The temptation to measure your progress against theirs is loud and constant. But the severe grind reminds you that comparison steals focus from the only battle that matters, you versus you. The weights do not care about someone else's journey. The mirror reflects only your effort. When you silence the noise of comparison, you reclaim your energy for what truly matters. Your grind, your progress, your growth. Technology often amplifies the noise, filling your mind with endless images and voices. Scrolling through feeds can rob you of hours and drain your focus before you even step into the gym. The severe grind requires discipline to shut down distractions, to put the phone aside, and to lock into the work at hand. The iron has no interest in your notifications, it only responds to your effort. Mastering this discipline creates a mental fortress where progress thrives. Noise also comes from comfort, the pull of the couch, the call of sleep, the lure of food that satisfies in the moment but steals energy later. These are noises disguised as rest. The severe grind forces you to confront this comfort and choose growth instead. Every time you rise to train when you could have stayed in bed, every time you choose fuel over junk, you prove that your focus is stronger than the noise. Comfort is loud, but discipline speaks louder. In the silence of the grind, you find clarity. Without distractions, the rhythm of your breathing, the pounding of your heart, and the clanging of weights become music to your progress. These sounds are not noise, they are signals that you are alive, growing, and building something that cannot be taken away. Silence is not emptiness, it is space for strength to speak. In that silence, you hear your own determination more clearly than anything else. This severe grind also teaches you to create an environment free from unnecessary noise. The people you surround yourself with, the habits you build, and the choices you make either feed distractions or fuel focus. Surround yourself with those who push you higher, cut out those who pull you down, and design routines that keep your mind sharp. The environment shapes the grind, and when the noise is removed, discipline thrives. Silencing the noise also means embracing solitude. Many cannot stand being alone with themselves, but the grind requires it. In those quiet moments where it is just you and the weight, you discover who you really are. Without the noise, there is no one else to impress, no one else to blame, no one else to lean on. There is only effort. That solitude is where real strength is built, because it teaches self-reliance, self-control, and self-belief. Finally, silence teaches you to respect the grind itself. When the noise is gone, you see the work for what it truly is, a pure exchange between effort and result. No excuses, no distractions, no illusions. The grind is honest, and it rewards only those who give fully. Noise clouds that truth, but silence reveals it in sharp clarity. The severe grind demands that you block out everything else, because only in silence can you hear the raw, unfiltered sound of progress being made. Sacrifice for growth is one of the hardest lessons that the severe grind teaches, because it forces you to give up what feels good now for what will make you stronger later. In the world of fitness, sacrifice is not just about avoiding unhealthy food or pushing through exhaustion. It is about shaping your entire life around a bigger vision. Growth demands that you say no when everyone else is saying yes. It demands that you trade comfort for consistency, late nights for early mornings, and easy choices for difficult ones. Each sacrifice you make becomes a stepping stone, lifting you from where you are to where you want to be. There is no growth without pain and no progress without loss. The severe grind makes you confront the reality that time is limited and energy is precious. Every hour spent on distractions is an hour stolen from your goals. Sacrifice means protecting your time with discipline, making the gym a non-negotiable priority, and being willing to let go of things that do not serve your purpose. When you choose to sacrifice television, parties, or idle scrolling, you are not just giving something up. You are making space for the version of yourself that is waiting to be built. Sacrifice also comes in the form of nutrition. The severe grind forces you to see food not just as pleasure, but as fuel. That means saying no to temporary satisfaction in order to say yes to long-term energy, strength, and health. It is not easy to resist cravings or to prepare meals when fast food is just around the corner. But every sacrifice in the kitchen shows up in the mirror and in your performance. Sacrifice at the table is just as important as sacrifice in the gym. Sleep and recovery are another layer of sacrifice. The severe grind demands balance, and sometimes growth means sacrificing late night habits to ensure that your body gets the rest it needs. Sacrifice is not only about giving up comfort, sometimes it is about giving up carelessness. Respecting your body enough to give it recovery is a form of sacrifice that pays back in energy, strength, and mental clarity. It requires maturity to prioritize what you need over what you want in the moment. Sacrifice extends into relationships as well. Not everyone will understand your dedication, and some will feel threatened by it. The severe grind requires that you surround yourself with people who fuel your vision, not drain it. Sometimes that means walking away from friendships built on unhealthy habits, or distancing yourself from voices that encourage laziness. The sacrifice of letting go can be painful, but it creates room for people who push you to grow, who celebrate your progress, and who stand by your discipline. Financial sacrifice is another reality. The severe grind often requires investing in quality food, supplements, gym memberships, or equipment. These costs may seem heavy, but they are not expenses, they are investments in yourself. Sacrifice may mean spending less on luxuries and more on tools that build your future. When you prioritize your growth over temporary pleasures, you prove to yourself that you value progress more than comfort. Sacrifice in the grind also means learning to delay gratification. You may train hard for weeks without visible results, and the temptation will rise to give in, to stop, or to take shortcuts. But sacrifice is about patience, choosing discipline over quick fixes, effort over excuses, and persistence over quitting. Every time you stay the course when results seem invisible, you are proving that your sacrifice is stronger than your doubt. Mental sacrifice is just as real as physical sacrifice. The severe grind forces you to let go of negative thinking, self-pity, and excuses. These mental habits may feel comfortable because they protect you from responsibility, but they destroy growth. Sacrificing weakness of thought means replacing it with strength, resilience, and a focus on what you can control. Mental toughness is built when you refuse to allow weakness to occupy your mind. Sacrifice also means embracing struggle instead of running from it. The severe grind is not meant to be easy, and growth only happens when you are willing to pay the price. Sacrifice is waking up earlier than you want, lifting heavier than you think you can, and going further than your mind tells you. It is choosing to endure what others avoid, because you understand that growth lives on the other side of discomfort. At its core, sacrifice for growth is about priorities. Every choice you make reflects what matters most to you. The severe grind demands that you prioritize progress over pleasure, purpose over comfort, and growth over excuses. The sacrifices you make today are not losses. They are seeds planted for the strength, discipline, and success that will come tomorrow. Growth never comes free. It always demands a price. Sacrifice is the currency, and the severe grind is where you learn to pay it without hesitation.